What's going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of Breaking the Base. I am Narik Chase, and with me I have Lakeisha, and we are going to do a discussion on the Resident Evil film series and this 16th episode of Breaking the Base. So, if I know I haven't really done any movie reviews or focused on any movie reviews or discussions with the Resident Evil films on this channel, but I do enjoy them for the most part, and I will be bringing those movie reviews to you as soon as I can. But in this, we're going to go ahead and get to the gist of what we do like about the film series and what we don't like about the film series. And when we say film series, we're not talking about the animated films. We're just generally talking about the Paul W. Anderson, Milla Jovovich, that film series. So, Miss Lakeisha,
Hi.
let's get into it. So, as I've just stated, I am a fan of the Resident Evil film series. Now, I know that you haven't played the games per se, so you don't know really the backstories or what the content is based off of. But in your opinion of the films, what do you think about them overall?
Um, I think they're really good films. I like Milla Jovovich. She is like I don't know if they could have got anybody else to play that part besides her. I don't know why I like her. She's a good character. Uh, the yeah, yeah, yep. I like the films. They're really good.
Okay, now I like the films, but I do, they do, what I'm saying, they do have their bad sides to them too,
Okay.
and a lot of bad sides. But I think it's just because I'm such an open-minded person that
Mhm.
I'm willing to accept what the films have to offer outside of what the video games offer. And there are some aspects of the films that I do think do outweigh that of the games. So, in terms of the story, now the story of Resident Evil over basically the games and the films is basically this corporation called Umbrella Corporation has developed this virus that reanimates the dead when it comes to people, as well as creates monsters, or what they say BOWs, bioorganic weapons. And, the film takes in a different approach than the games do. But we're not going to talk about the games. The film takes the approach that when the virus was released, I guess it went airborne and it just covered the whole world.
But the virus wasn't actually made for that reason.
Uh, nope, it was made for an entirely different one. And it shows you
It
just,
just
yeah.
happened to when it got in contact with um, with a healthy host, living.
No, see, it was designed to help the living on film from the film storyline, but it was developed after that for military applications,
Okay.
which is why people were mutating and stuff like that. I mean, it is a change that as an after effect of its original design. It could have did that same thing, but um, like, what do you think of the film story? You have Milla Jovovich, this band of survivors, going to war with this evil corporation that is just constantly just tormenting humanity with this virus. Do you think there could have been more exposition on certain elements? Um, I personally would have liked to see more exposition on Alice's character, which I think the films really should have done. I like the fact that they do keep it her a mystique, but the films do make her kind of develop.
Okay. I don't know whether did they tell how she came to work for the Umbrella Corporation in none of the movies.
They didn't say how she got there, who she knew. They didn't say where she came from. They didn't give.
Because other than that, she was just a regular person until they done all that stuff to her.
I
Right?
wouldn't say she was regular. I mean, she was, she had military training.
Well, yeah, but she wasn't infected, or
Yeah.
they didn't put all that stuff in her to make her stronger or anything like that. She was just a regular military person, but they don't say how she came to work for the. She just said, well, she was head of security.
That's like one of the things that I think the films could have elaborated on, because a lot of people uh, don't like her character because she had the powers, and it's like, well, you can't connect with somebody like that because there's no threat to her.
Mhm.
So you see how in Resident Evil, the second movie, when those lickers had them people trapped in the church,
Yeah.
and she came, and they was like struggling against them for like 10 minutes, but like 5 6 minutes, and she came in there and like whooped ass for like 30 seconds,
Yeah.
like that, like
She
that.
knew where to attack, how to attack.
Mm-hmm. See, that's why I'm like, I mean, through her character, through the story, her character cares about people
Mhm.
and has extreme hatred from Umbrella, but you don't know anything else besides that.
Okay.
I mean, so I think the overall story is pretty good, pretty, take it at face value. The stories for the individual films, the first one I think had a more grounded story. The second one, it was a bit grounded, even though the nemesis aspect of it, okay, could have been worked on a little bit better. We have Extinction, which it was actually a pretty good story. Um, Although there was a lot of things about it that I think they should have worked out better. Uh,
Like, okay, what in Apocalypse? You said the Nemesis character.
from the way that its character was developed, for the films, because I'm trying not to cross it over with the games. Um, it was interesting. They're using it to hunt down these stars people, but you see how everybody that came up to Nemesis like was wiped out within seconds,
Mhm.
and then except for Alice. So like the part where they had the Nemesis storyline would have been better had it actually showed him stalking people down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the Nemesis. It didn't um, it didn't get a lot of camera time, did it? Except when it killed the stars, and then you saw it. What other part did you see? Did you see the Nemesis?
Pretty much every time he attacked her, and that was like 2 times after that.
Well, toward the end.
Yeah. So I'm like, I think that was, I think that was one of the things they should have done better, was actually showed him stalking them. Uh, like the whole them trying to find Ashley was a good thing. Which this is why I would have liked to seen the story worked out
Angela.
better. Angela, I'm sorry, it's Ashley.
Mhm.
I would have liked to seen Nemesis possibly go after the little girl for an important reason. They are trying to save the little girl from Nemesis. That would have been a continuous chase sequence right there. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I would have liked that. Have been a better way of utilizing Nemesis' character. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And then it'll put Alice's character as well as the other characters in this. Okay, we're fighting for survival. Because if Alice wanted to, she could have just ran through the whole city by herself and been okay.
Yeah, true.
But I would have liked to have seen it because it would show her be vulnerable against this tyrannical force that's just constantly hunting her. And like, I think that's what they should have did with that one. Extinction, I didn't like it at first because it was out in the daylight. But then somebody said something that made more sense. You're out in the daylight, but the horror aspect comes from when you go into like a building or something
Mhm.
and it's dark. So that security of seeing everything around you in the daytime is gone. The whole super zombie thing, I could have probably did without. Um, and then we had Afterlife, and Afterlife is one of the films I say had an interesting story, but the way it was done was just complete garbage.
Okay, Afterlife.
That was in the prison.
Okay.
Like I would have liked that one to have been. Trying to think how to say it. A very claustrophobic one. Zombies should have been in the prison. These guys should have been trying to get out.
Yeah, because okay, zombies they was been going around all them months. Those that got killed, and they found their way into the prison by coming up through the floors.
Which that still does not make any sense.
Because the prison was empty. The prison was big. I think they should have been, like you said, inside. So that way, like around some corners, they just come out instead of having them come up from outside. Because they're zombies. That they would.
But see, this is the thing they did. This is another thing they did wrong with the story, because it throws people that don't know the lore off. You see, you had the regular zombies. Then you see these zombies with these things coming out their mouths.
Yeah.
What they don't explain is those aren't zombies. Those are people infected with this parasite called the Las Plagas.
Okay.
But the way the film makes it seem like those things are a result of the virus. If they had actually explained it, for it to be that way, then it made a lot more sense. Now, as far like you said, if they were in the prison and they were stuck in the prison and the zombies and the creatures and stuff were in the prison with them, and they had to figure out how to get out, that would have been a lot better. That would have been a hell of a lot better to explain everything than these things burrowing through the ground. And then it's not even like ground. It's like concrete. It's like, how in the hell are they burrowing through this stuff? They ain't had no drill. They didn't have no laser. You know what I'm saying? There was like no explanation. And they were all the things y'all could have did. Y'all said burrowing. Okay, that completely makes sense. Now, the one thing I can say I didn't like about Afterlife was the beginning. I can understand Alice doing the whole clone thing, trying to attack that base, but there's no reason to hell all of her clones should have been at that base. Because what happened? They all got killed. Every single last one of them.
Oh, she had all of her clones.
Every single one of them was there.
Okay, that was like at the end of that was like 100-something clones.
And that's what I said.
They didn't show all of them.
But that's why I said it doesn't make sense story wise, even realistically wise, for her all of her clones to have been there. And what happened? The place got blown up. And then the place not only, and this is convenience for you, not only were they all there, the place got blown up. And then not only did the place blow up, it blew up in like a 5-mile radius. So if there was any outside that base, they made sure they got those too. Mm-hmm. I'm like, that's convenience out the rear end for you right there. That's just poor writing. If some would have attacked there, and then some would have attacked another place, and some would have attacked another place, it would have been different. But every single one of them were there. Now, there is a possibility that there are some that didn't go there, because we don't necessarily see all of them there. Mm-hmm. We just see that after that sequence, we don't see them anymore. There could be a chance there could be some more. And, of course, we have another movie coming out, so there could be a chance that another one pop up there.
Retribution, at the first beginning, kind of had me confused, because then I found out that it was all at the end, test sequences?
No, not like I said, not the first film. All of those films happened outside.
I know, okay. But the
inside the movie, yeah, inside Retribution in that big old facility, which that kind of didn't make sense.
And I not like the way they brought Rain back. I don't like it because
who?
Rain, the girl.
Oh.
Because Alice was trying to help her in the other one. She got bit and all that, and then she come back to be a total bitch. I'm just saying.
It's. There you go. This is one thing I didn't like about her. Which I guess I'm going to the characters. I did like her in the first film because she was like one of those characters that was just tight. You know, she was hardcore, but she actually had personality. Mm-hmm. And she stood out among those commandos. Then she comes back, Because she was definitely one of those characters everybody liked. So I think that's the reason why they brought her back. I can deal with the clone thing. I can deal with that. But like how they did it, and then they brought back all these other characters too.
Right, like all of them, and they were all bad.
And then not only were they bad, they weren't even memorable. You didn't care.
Right, because the black dude, the one who got chopped to little bitty pieces, okay, he wasn't even there through, half the movie. And before he got killed. And then they brought him back. And then Carlos, they brought him back, and he was bad. But he was in the other ones, so as a good character, so why would they...
And then them being bad didn't help, and they didn't contribute nothing to the plot. Because if you think about it, if they weren't there and they were just regular soldiers, it wouldn't have changed a thing. Rain was literally the only one there again that stood out.
Yeah, she had her moment. Yeah,
she's the only one that stood out. So I take it, Rain is one of your favorite characters.
No, I mean she was a good character, but I wouldn't say she was one of my favorites. Like one of my favorite things would be, of course, Alice and Claire.
Mhm. I like Claire too. Ali Larter does a great Claire. I think that was a pretty good casting call.
Because throughout all of the ones that she was in, she was pretty good. When she did get her memory back, she didn't turn against Alice. She, was helping her again.
I like Luther, hands down. Not only because he's a black guy, but he was actually like the coolest dude.
They did not have to kill him off. That pissed me off. I got mad.
Yeah, that was literally one of the most. That was one of the biggest dick moves in the series that he died, because he was literally one of the coolest characters. Everybody liked him. He was literally one of the coolest characters. And it's the way they did it was kind of BS too, considering the fact that they tried to say, okay, they didn't want to kill off Leon during the fight or whatever, which is kind of BS because Alice took the same blow, but she didn't die. And I'm like, okay, she didn't die, but how you gonna sit there and give her a pass and not give him a pass? He was a cool ass dude. I don't like Mike Epps. I never really liked him. But I did like LJ. He did give personality to LJ. And of course, we like Alice. Sienna Guillory does a fantastic Jill. Like, they cast that role perfectly for her. I mean, I guess because she looked like the character, but...
It was kind of hard to recognize her in the other one because she had blonde hair, so that's why I really didn't recognize her.
That
was the same woman from. Okay.
That's another thing they did with the games. In part 3 in the game, she had dark hair, and then she comes back later on and is blonde. What do you think about the guy that played Wesker?
The dude with the shades and stuff. He was good looking.
Wow. I thought he did a good job. I just didn't like the way he talked.
I really don't know much about his character, because you haven't played the games and watched the movie. I've only watched the movies, so I
for the most part, he does a good job as Wesker. I just don't like the way he talked. He talked like he didn't want to open his mouth. He's like, so this is how things go. Like, just open your mouth, man. Like I said, I think he did a good job. I just didn't like the way he talked. Are there any other characters that stood out to you? honestly, guys, for the most part, all the incarnations of the characters from the video games I didn't like. I didn't like the guy that played Leon. I like Kevin Durant, but he played a poor Barry Burton. Don't care what nobody says. Lee Bing Bing completely murdered Ada Wong. No, 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 she shouldn't have played that. And not only that, Ada Wong should not even been in the movie. She should not have been. And that's one thing I don't like about the films. They're trying to adapt the games.
That was the Asian chick.
Yeah, they're trying to adapt the games to the movies, but it doesn't make sense. Like the stuff that the characters are wearing.
She had on heels throughout.
She had her heels and the dress. I'm like, you're gonna do that in this type of situation? But I'm like, okay.
I mean, I don't know much about Lee Bing Bing or but her outfit was not believable. You would do all that in heels.
Yeah, that's one thing I didn't like about it. All right, let's talk about we'll jump down to the visuals. But which one of the creatures throughout all the movies was your favorite? I like the liquor creature in Retribution. That the Uber liquor. I like that thing. That thing was really cool. Like I can imagine playing the game having to fight that thing.
Well, I like Nemesis, even though he didn't get much of a role, but because he was actually a good person who got turned.
Even though he still looked like rubber and he was a very clunky character.
I mean, they could have
like move. He couldn't run anything.
With a monster like that big, they shouldn't have put no shoes on him. Where are you gonna find shoes that size without actually tearing the shoes? They should have left him barefoot. The armor was kind of...
Like I said, the outfit was... It's 50-50 with me on him. I didn't like the design, but I thought the design was okay. I just didn't... I felt like, even though they try to make it realistic, it looked like rubber. Like the little squid thing, tendril things he had sticking out on them, they didn't pulse or nothing. They didn't move. It just looked like plastic. When he turned... He couldn't turn his head like this to the side or nothing. Here, like that. Like stuff like that. Like Nemesis runs. There's no way in hell that Nemesis could have ran. I would have liked to seen those hunter creatures, which are the giant green things with the big claws that jump and stuff. I think you see me playing the game where they kept jumping in my face. In fact, you did. They were the green things. They kept running on all fours and they kept jumping.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I would have liked to seen that. The liquor creatures I thought looked all right, and especially in the second movie. The first movie, not so much. Until it mutated. That mutated one was pretty cool. The zombie designs, look good. As much as I don't like the fact that the Las Plagas creatures were in Afterlife, they did look pretty good. They looked pretty good. So, I can't really fault them for that. And of course, I said I was going to talk about the soundtrack. Almost every Resident Evil movie had a badass soundtrack. The characters could have been shit, the plot could have been shit, the casting could have been shit, the visual effects could have been shit, but every single one of them movies had a great soundtrack to them. Especially Retribution. And you said you're not in.
I really, didn't actually get into the soundtrack thing like you did.
I was all into it. The what was the Afterlife? The fight with Wesker. The disconnect and self-destruct one bullet at a time. Like that right there made that sequence tight. Which is one reason I wanted to watch the movie, because that same song was actually in the trailer. And then remember in Retribution how it starts off, the intro. It starts off with that with the music playing, and then the whole sequence is playing backwards in like slow motion. Like that. Like I loved that song. That was a good song too. I like the Umbrella Corporation theme in the first Resident Evil movie. So Yeah, as far as the soundtracks go, they did a great job with the soundtracks.
Okay, what did you think about the? It was only like a visual. What did you think about how they had the Red Queen?
In the first movie, it looked like one of those old PlayStation 2 games uh, that does not fit nowadays. It looked like shit. I'm sorry. In what was it? Afterlife? No, Extinction. They brought it back, and it was like a visual. It was a visual girl. I'm like, okay, I like that. They showed a girl or whatever, but it looked like a girl, and not it wasn't red. It looked like an actual girl. So I was like, okay, cool with that. And then they brought it back for Retribution, and I liked, it was like it went crazy. So, what did you think about
Uh, well, in the first one, she was red, wasn't she?
her? Uh huh.
They just showed. Hold up. No, in the last one, they said it was her sister,
Yeah, it was still like a Red Queen though.
but she wasn't. She was she bad?
Yeah. In the first movie, she wasn't bad. In the second movie, in the third movie, she wasn't bad. But in the fifth one, Retribution, she's just like, okay, we're just doing all this. I'm gonna kill everybody. Which is I don't understand why everybody's so keen on trying to capture Alice when they're all trying to destroy humanity anyway. But okay.
Okay.
All right. And I gotta say this one thing that I do not like about this series is they introduce a lot of great characters and they kill them off. And they don't. And the thing about it is, it's not the characters. They don't. They introduce characters, but they won't kill off the mainstream characters. But the mainstream characters don't do anything. Like we said again in Retribution, Luther and Leon was fighting Rain, but Luther ended up getting killed. And it's like Luther was likable. I would have had them kill Leon, and I like Leon. The news lady from what was it? Apocalypse. The newscaster lady, the one that got ate up by the kids.
Yeah.
I liked her character. The guy, damn near everybody on Extinction. What's that girl name? The actress, the singer.
Ashanti.
Ashanti got killed. I liked her character. The guy that
What
was.
did you like about Ashanti's character?
She was, she was hot and everything, but but I actually liked her. She was like grounded. She was like, she brought like a different presence or whatever. She was cool, and I liked the fact that her and LJ kind of had that relationship.
If they would have kept her on, like more in the film, and gave her more, then it probably would have instead of killing her off, like they did. So if they probably would have kept her on. Yeah, through more of the film like they did LJ, then because at the end, at the end of Apocalypse, LJ was with Carlos, and when they came to rescue Alice.
Then LJ died. Then Carlos died, and it's like, wow.
Yeah.
Who else did they kill off?
And they cloned Carlos.
What was it? The one girl from the actress from Afterlife. I liked her. She got killed. I was like, Lord have mercy. Of course, damn near everybody in the first film died. One, you thought he was gonna make it to the end. He died like in the first 10 minutes of the movie. So that's one thing I do think they've had a really big problem with is just killing people. And it's not like they kill them in a decent way. Carlos did go out in kind of a good way. I'll give it. He did.
Yeah.
Yeah, his character did die in a good way. He went out like a soldier. Everybody else pretty much died for nothing.
Yeah, messed up.
But I do. What do you think about the action? The action. Yeah, What do you think about the action sequences?
There's a lot of action sequences. I mean, Alice. Whenever she fought, I just be like all up in there. This is like dang, like really. I mean, she.
Yeah, when it comes to action sequences, they're over the top. I'm not gonna lie, and they're so unrealistic, but they're cool as hell.
Yeah, they are.
They're like, what was the one sequence when Alice jumped off the prison, and it was in slow motion, and all the zombies jumped off with her before the top exploded or whatever.
Mhm.
And then she was on that wire like that. She would have died from that.
Yeah, but you know what kind of person she is.
No, by that time she was human.
She was all human.
Yeah.
She just still had her fighting.
Yeah, she just still knew how to fight. Like, at that point, I was like, yeah, that's so unrealistic. But it's cool as hell. It's cool as hell. The whole thing where she had the shotgun with the quarters in it.
I like that.
Not plausible, but it's tight as hell. One of my favorite action sequences, I told you the other day we was watching it, was the Claire versus the Axeman.
Yeah, they could have let Claire have that one.
Which is one thing that's another thing I didn't like about the series. Everybody is irrelevant compared to Alice. Every time something happens, like the one sequence that was on the roof before she jumped off. Claire threw Alice the Uzi gun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, why? You could have just shot it yourself. I was like that sequence, like that's something. And then like we was just saying about the Axeman, Claire did all that to fight the Axeman. That was her moment. And then when you think she killed him, she really hadn't. And but then Alice again shows up and kills the Axeman guy. Mm-hmm. Now I'm not gonna lie, that whole sequence I didn't have no problem with. It was tight as hell. Even when Alice killed it, the way it was done, I liked it.
Yeah. But
it did take away from Claire's character. And I think honestly that was really the only moment for any other character outside of Alice. I can't really think of any other moment. Even with the whole Rain versus Leon and Luther, they was getting their ass whooped the whole time.
Really, she was whooping their ass.
Even with the Jill versus Alice fight, Alice wasn't getting a butt kicked the whole time. You know what I'm saying? But I can't really think of any other moment where another character stood out like that. Chris was completely irrelevant. He should not have been in the movie. Which is another thing that they try to allude to in the movie that only people in the games would know. Wesker knew Chris and Claire. In the story of the movies, he shouldn't have known at all. The reason why in the games he knew them was because Chris was a part of the same stars group as Wesker, and it was in one game, both games, Claire goes to go look for Chris, and in the second game, she meets Wesker.
Okay.
And Chris, and they end up all meeting there. So, I'm like, in the movies, there's no reason they should have met at all. They shouldn't have known each other. And what he say, Chris, Claire, one big happy family reunion. I'm like, nigga, how do you know that? You shouldn't even know them by movie standards. But there is that. But go back to the action sequences. I'm going to name 3, and I want to see if you name me 3 too. I will give it the Jill versus Alice fight. I did like that one. Of course, I just said the Claire versus Axeman fight, and what's the third one? I guess I could go ahead and sit there and say the action sequence with the liquors. No, I'm gonna say the retribution, the liquor scene when the liquor was chasing them. Mm-hmm. Like I'll say that. Them be my top 3.
Okay. My My first one, when she came in the church through the window on the motorcycle.
Mm-hmm. That's Apocalypse, okay.
Yeah, I like that one. Let me see. Mine might sound a little corny. Um, she when she was fighting them dogs.
In the first one?
Mm-mm.
Or in the third one?
I think it was the third one. Cause they were all just basically the dogs were all just basically like meat, and she was inside like a facility, and then the glass came down and she hit them and just sliced them.
Oh, that was in Afterlife.
Yeah.
Yeah, the mutated dogs. That was. You know what? I'm gonna go back and change mine. Now you just said that. I'm gonna change it from the Uber liquor. I'm gonna change it to the Wesker fight when Claire and Chris was fighting Wesker.
And yeah, I would have to go to the Alice and Jill fight too.
Okay. So the fight sequences are pretty good. The action sequences, I might say. And in fact, I would like, because we sat down and we watched them. What do you want to see with the final chapter?
And what is the final chapter called?
The next movie, Resident Evil 6 final chapter.
Oh, really? Oh, I guess if they're gonna bring back characters, things, and the environment from the first movie.
The environment from the first movie should not have anything to do with the. When I had read up on it, it was said that they were supposed to go back to Raccoon City. There's no reason for them to be going back to Raccoon City because there should not be a Raccoon City.
Right. Raccoon City should be like destroyed.
Yeah. But of course they're gonna bring back the characters. They're supposed to bring back Chris, Claire, Leon, Jill, Ada, Wesker, of course Alice. If they bring in the girl Kmart, which it pisses me off because I liked her character, but they never elaborated on her.
Oh, they said they were bringing back Kmart? What? Okay, I remember the girl, but okay.
Yeah, that's her name.
That was who they got from at the end. Okay.
Remember in Afterlife, she threw Alice the gun.
Okay.
Because she knocked that one dude out. There should be nobody else they should bring. Them should be those characters. We have finally fully established that they got those characters. There should be nobody else they should bring in there. There are a host of other characters in the Resident Evil universe, but since these few movies have already established these characters, and most of them poorly, I might add, this should be the roster. And it's like, how are you supposed to...
Hold up. Raccoon City did get destroyed by that thing when they, after the...
They nuked it.
Yeah. So there shouldn't be one.
And hopefully they don't clone Raccoon City like they cloned every freaking thing else. See, one thing I like about the clone thing is it's like it's like when you can't come up with no good ideas.
Unless they are gonna do the little sequence like they had in the last one where she returned to that, but there shouldn't really be a Raccoon City.
It would not surprise me if they built Raccoon City again. it would not surprise me if they said they turned around and built that city again.
I don't really say much. I don't think they're gonna do it, but I just want to see how did she start to work for the Umbrella Corporation. She had to have some, besides military experience, she had to be damn good at what she did because the Umbrella Corporation is a, you know, how do you say that word?
Make love, make a
It's big, like.
yeah, make a corporation.
But I don't think they probably won't do that.
Oh, okay. Let's read what we see here on Wikipedia about it. Says the plot picks up immediately after the end of the previous movie, and we'll see Alice returning to Raccoon City, where the Umbrella Corporation is gathering its forces. At the end of the last freaking movie, we see an army of monsters and stuff trying to attack the White House. What gathering of forces should there be? Unless Umbrella Corporation, they're talking about what's under Wesker and who's trying to fight against the monsters. I don't really know how they're gonna go with this. I love the films. They're all stupid. They're all cheesy, and they're all poorly made. But I like them because they're entertaining. And just me, I'm one of the guys. I like to have a good story, and I promise I will definitely come back and do a series of videos, probably called "What They Could Have Done Better," and I'll go back and critique every movie and say what they could have done better. But as I said, I do like the series. They could have done a hell of a lot better.
I think that maybe they like the first movie, it tells how the virus got out, and then I guess I'm just lost, or maybe that's just me. They put more action and fight sequences in there to throw the plot off, because if she's returned to Raccoon City and there is no Raccoon City, that's just it's crazy. So maybe
they probably rebuilt. They cloned the city, people. That's what they did. They cloned it. They got an even bigger facility. It's the size of the state of California, and they cloning cities now. So Raccoon City will be making its clone return. And as I said before, one of the biggest problems I have with the film is the films are, even though the films are about Alice, I feel like they focus too much on her. And even when other characters have potential to have their own moments, it gets taken away because Alice shows up. Jill could have had her moment when they was fighting the lickers in the church. They got taken away because Alice showed up. Claire could have had her moment when she killed the Axeman. That moment, you know what I'm saying, got taken away because of Alice. You know what I mean? Even with the crows and shit, like that was tight what she did, but it took away from how those characters are going to deal with these murderous crows.
Okay, actually, they really didn't have a choice right there. They was gonna get 8.
But that's just the thing. That's how you show how resourceful your characters are, how they would dealt with that situation. Even though it was tight what she did.
Okay, the man was on top with the fire, with the flamethrower, but she just took it and expanded it to kill them all, because otherwise they all would have got eaten with what he was putting out. So she just expanded it. So, he done good. She just expanded it.
Yeah, he done good. Them. He done good. That's why he got his ass 8. But in closing, guys, we're gonna go ahead and close this off. We're almost at that 45-minute mark. We talked about all the Resident Evil films, what we liked about, what we didn't like about them. Guys, in the comment section below, let us know, what did you think about the Resident Evil films? Which one was your favorite? What you didn't like? What you did like? Who was your favorite character? What is your favorite creature? what the hell they could have done better if we have not gone through it already. And be sure to subscribe because every week we will be putting out another podcast of Breaking Debates where we just sitting here, have good ideas, have a good time, share commentary, share our thoughts. And anything else like to add to that?
No, none.
All right, then. This is Narik and Lakeisha signing out. Catch you guys on the next Breaking Debates.
Bye.